Hey, and welcome to our weekly chat. You survived the first week of 391. See, you can make it through the whole semester. So let's talk about where we've been, where we're going. Last week, you were asked to introduce yourself on the class discussion board. It was really fun to get to know all of you a little bit better, or at least get to know you in this setting a little bit better. If you didn't respond to that, then you don't get points. I'm sorry. You were also asked to sign up for a group time. If you haven't seen already, I already posted your group assignments for the semester. So this assignment is permanent. It cannot be changed, but it's okay. Don't panic. There are not as many group assignments as there used to be in 391, so you can definitely get through this. Make sure that you get in contact with your group in the next couple of days if you haven't done so already, and pick a time that works best to meet as a group. You initially said that one time worked, and that's a good starting point, but maybe there's some other time during the week that actually works better for you. All of the group assignments are typically due on Saturday evening at 11. So your group might decide that maybe you need to meet twice a week, maybe towards the end of the week is a little bit better. Find a time that works to meet as a group. I recommend meeting in person at least a couple of times at first so that you kind of put a face to those names. It's a lot harder to let people down that you've met than people who are just random and on the internet. So I highly recommend doing that. It tends to work a lot better for groups when they do that. There's a variety of ways that you can meet in this world of the coronavirus. We are all learning how to meet virtually. You can do it. There's Zoom, there's Hangouts, there's Teams. I'm trying to think of all the things I've used this week. FaceTime, Marco Polo, all those things. Find a way to meet and discuss with your group. A couple of things. Your group is asked to submit your research questions and topics on Saturday. I know that you guys went through that discussion board last week where you provided some potential research topics and questions. This is where you're going to solidify that as a group. If I tell your group that you cannot use that research question or that topic, please don't be offended. The reason I would tell you that is because for whatever reason, that topic just will not work for the class. There are some that won't work. We are going to go through the IRB process this semester. I believe we're going to do that in week 7 or 8. And that is where you're going to get your study approved by the University Ethics Board. So we have to make sure all of your studies fall in line with their ethical guidelines. You cannot do any study that has to do with minors. That is anyone under the age of 18, including asking a parent about their experience with their child. So nothing about anyone under the age of 18. That means nothing with the schools. That means nothing with autistic children. That means nothing with dental hygiene in children. You can ask about people's experience generally. For example, one semester I had a group of students that wanted to know about RSV awareness. And so they asked people, what would you do if you were a parent? And they were allowed to do that because they weren't asking about someone's specific experience. They were asking about potential future experiences. I know it seems like a weird gray area. It is. But we can't subject children to anything. So nothing with minors, nothing with mentally impaired individuals. And this can be older adults that have some cognitive impairment, younger people, nothing with that. Nothing with anything that violates the honor code. So you can't ask people about drug use, smoking, alcohol, nothing like that. So medical marijuana is not an acceptable topic. Opioids are not an acceptable topic. There are some slight workarounds, but it is very difficult and you are going to create a lot of work for yourself. So please, let's stay away from that. We need to be really careful when we approach mental health because we don't want to approach any subject that's going to cause discomfort or harm to our potential subjects. And mental health is one of those things. Also asking about someone's personal health history, that can be an issue as well. So start thinking of topics. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to advise you. Some really successful topics have been hand washing in this time is awesome as well. Various things related to student nutrition, sleep habits, stress levels, things like that have been good. The most interesting one I think I've ever seen was on RSV. Oh, and there was one on dry eyes once that was really, really good. So the variety is very, very large. There, you can probably find a topic that you're interested in. We just need to stay away from some of those protected populations and anything that will cause someone discomfort, like asking them about something that might violate the honor code, or asking about personal health histories that can create a problem. Also asking about someone's pregnancy, that doesn't typically come up, but please don't ask about pregnancy, someone's specific pregnancy. You could ask about pregnancy generally, but not about someone's exact experience. So for example, you could ask me questions about pregnancy because I'm not currently pregnant, but you couldn't ask my sister questions about pregnancy because she is pregnant. So there's a little bit of a differentiation. If pregnancy is one of those topics you're extremely interested in, let me know, and we'll come up with something. Your entire group is going to use the same topic for the entire semester. So all of those group assignments will be done on that topic, but all of your individual research assignments will be done on that same topic. So you need to pick something they're relatively interested in that is easy enough to collect data on. You are going to be writing research questions. Remember that your research question has to be answered with the information you collect through your survey. So you cannot see what impact sleep has on BMI because you have no way of measuring someone's actual BMI. You have self-reported data. You have no way of measuring how hand washing actually affects someone's illness level. You do have a way of seeing if they perceive that hand washing keeps them healthy, or if they perceive that sleep impacts BMI. So keep that in mind. Anything that would require a medical test, you don't have the ability to do. So we need to move a little bit away from reality into perception with this class. Your research questions need to be specific. That means you need to be measuring a specific thing with a specific group. So you might say, to what extent are adults ages 18 to 35 aware of the impact hand washing has on their ability to fight COVID-19? Something like that. You need to make sure it is specific and measurable. So you're looking at perception in this specific group of people. You will most likely collect your data through social media. You will probably post your survey on social media and collect responses that way. If you choose not to go that route, you will request a sample of BYU Idaho student email addresses through the IRB process, and you will send out your survey that way. So you kind of need to keep in mind some of those topics. Think of a topic that people are interested in and they will want to answer your survey. So one thing with that is something that's timely. Right now, COVID-19 is timely. So think about that. If you pick a topic that's really obscure and not super interesting, it is going to be very hard to get enough people to respond to complete the data analysis. So just start thinking about that. Okay, I saw a lot of you start your personal application assignments last week. Thank you very much for doing that. Personal application assignment is something that's ongoing over the course of the semester. You won't see any grades put in until the very end, and here's why. As soon as I enter a grade, the entire 140 points is calculated into your grade, which means every single person in the class will be failing until the last week of class. Nobody wants that. It's not fun. So I will be keeping track of your participation over the course of the semester, and I will enter it in at the end of the semester. There are 3 personal application assignment checks over the course of the semester. I've spaced those out every 4 weeks. So our first one is going to be May 16th. What does that mean? It means that beginning on May 17th, I will go in and make sure that you submitted an assignment, that you submitted a personal application post sometime during the week of May 11th. If you don't have one, you don't get points. If you do have one, you do get points. If you don't have one, I'll send you an email letting you know that you did not have an assignment and that you did not get points. Then I'll do another check 4 weeks later and another 4 weeks after that. You need a total of 12 personal application posts over the course of the semester, 3 for each category. So 3 job postings, 3 case studies, and 3 choose your own adventure spiritual insight posts, and then 3 from whichever categories you choose. But you need 3 from each category, 12 total posts. I'll be checking every 4 weeks. You'll receive notification if you did not complete the requirements. This week, we're working on the word review features assignments. Please pay attention to the directions and to the rubric. The rubric says, and I quote, All 3 word review features, comments, track changes, and accept, reject, track changes were used. That's the entire rubric. You need to use all 3 features, comments, track changes, accept and reject, track changes. That's it to receive full points. If you do 2, then you won't receive full points. If you do 1, you won't receive full points. If you do none, you'll receive none points. That didn't make sense, but you'll receive 0 points. So you must include all 3 to get full points. Please, please, please pay attention to that rubric. Finally, there are no exams in this class. Several people have asked. There are no exams in this class. However, there are several quizzes, and the majority of your grade is based on that final paper. The final paper is based on the topic that you select as a group and that research question based on the survey that you write and distribute as a group, but that final paper is done on your own. Every instructor has different thoughts about this final paper. I'll share mine with you. In public health, we write a lot. In public health, we send a lot of emails. In public health, we send a lot of memos. I went to work this morning, hence the scrubs, and I don't even know how many emails I got. There were so many. I will tell you very honestly, the long ones did not get read as closely as they probably should have. The short ones did. The short ones got responded to. I've taken care of all the short ones. In public health, we need to learn some brevity. We need to learn how to say what we need to say and then stop. That is what I want you to take from this class. I want you to be able to back up what you have to say with facts. I want you to be able to back it up with research. I want you to be able to say it clearly and concisely. So I believe the requirements for the final paper say that it is 7 to 10 pages. Before the redesign with this class, the requirements for the final paper were that it had a 6-page maximum. That meant when we got to 6 pages, I stopped reading it. Students did a significantly better job on their shorter papers than they do on the longer papers. The longer papers tend to be rambling. They don't take as much time to edit them. The facts aren't there. All your ducks aren't in a row. So as we go over the course of this semester, think to yourself, my final paper needs to be 6 pages. I need to say what I need to say in 6 pages and start practicing that. I know this video is not a good example, but that is what we are going for. 6 solid pages of fact-based information. That is our goal. I know that you can do it. Because I've seen lots of semesters of students do it very successfully. So keep that in the back of your mind. Sometime in July, you're going to be submitting a 6-ish page paper, and it's going to be awesome. In the meantime, this week, get started on those research questions. Be prepared to revise those research questions. I will turn them around as fast as I can early next week. Work on those personal application assignments. Make sure that you complete all 3 word review features because we all want to get 15 points. Let me know if you have any questions. Wash your hands, social distance, stay safe. If you're in Georgia, do not go get a haircut. It is not a good plan.